Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're part of my conversation with award-winning author Pamela Mshana. We discuss her success and her book series, Girls in Search of Cover. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In international news, U.S. is running out of money for Ukraine, and that could hinder fight against Russia, the White House warns. The Biden administration on Monday sent Congress an urgent warning about the need to approve tens of billions of dollars in military and economic assistance to Ukraine, saying Kyiv's war effort to defend itself from Russia's invasion may grind to a halt without it. In a letter to the House and Senate leaders and released publicly, House of Management and Budget Director warned the U.S. will run out of funding to send weapons and assistance to Ukraine by the end of the year, saying that would kneecap Ukraine on the battlefield. She added that the U.S. already has run out of money that is used to prop up Ukraine's economy, and if Ukraine's economy collapses, they will not be able to keep fighting, full stop, she said. We are out of money and nearly out of time, she wrote. President Joe Biden has sought a nearly $106 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and other needs, but it has faced a difficult reception on Capitol Hill, where there is growing skepticism about the magnitude of assistance for Ukraine, and where even Republicans supportive of the funding are insisting on U.S.-Mexico border policy changes to halt the flow of migrants as a condition for the assistance. Congress has to decide whether to continue to support the fight for freedom in Ukraine as part of the 50-nation coalition that President Biden has built, or whether Congress will ignore the lessons we've learned from history and let Russian President Putin prevail, the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said on Monday. It is that simple. It is that stark choice, and we hope that Congress on a bipartisan basis will make the right choice, he said. Meanwhile, the GOP-controlled House has passed a standalone assistance package for Israel, which is fighting a war with Hamas in Gaza, while the White House has maintained that all of the priorities must be met. Congress already has allocated $111 billion to assist Ukraine, including $67 billion in military procurement funding, $27 billion for economic and civil assistance, and $10 billion for humanitarian aid. The Biden administration has said it has slowed the pace of some military assistance to Kyiv in recent weeks to try to stretch supplies until Congress approves more funding. House Speaker Mike Johnson reiterated in a statement Monday that House Republicans will insist on border policy changes as part of a Ukraine assistance bill, and he urged Biden has failed to substantially address any of my conference's legitimate concerns about the lack of a clear strategy in Ukraine, a path to resolving the conflict, or a plan for adequately ensuring accountability for aid provided by American taxpayers. The letter followed a classified Capitol Hill briefing on November the 29th for the top House and Senate leaders on the need for the assistance. Defense and other national security officials briefed the Big Four congressional leaders as Congress is debating Biden's nearly $106 billion funding package, which includes $61 billion for Ukraine, but has become snared by Republican demands for U.S.-Mexico border security changes. In more international news, Israel's military calls for more evacuations in southern Gaza as it's widened its offensive. Israel's military called for more evacuations in southern Gaza as it widened its offensive aimed at eliminating the territory's Hamas rulers. The war has already killed thousands of Palestinians and displaced over 3/4 of Gaza's 2.3 million residents who are running out of safe places to go. The United States, along with Qatar and Egypt, which mediated the earlier ceasefire, said they are working on a longer truce. In national news, the Supreme Court wrestles with OxyContin makers' bankruptcy deal with billions of dollars at stake. The Supreme Court on Monday wrestled with a nationwide settlement with OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma that would shield members of the Sackler family who own the company from civil lawsuits over the toll of opioids. The justices seemed by turns reluctant to break up an exhaustively negotiated agreement, but also leery of somehow rewarding the Sacklers. The agreement hammered out with state and local governments and victims would provide billions of dollars to combat the opioid epidemic. The Sacklers would contribute up to $6 billion and give up ownership of the company, but retain billions more. And finally, in business news, Wall Street loses ground ahead of key reports on the job market. Stocks slipped on Wall Street Monday ahead of some key reports this week on the job market that might provide some insight into the Fed Reserve's thinking about interest rates. The S&P 500 was off 0.7%. The index is coming off its best month in more than a year and reached its highest level in more than a year on last Friday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 86 points, or 0.2%, to 36,157. The Nasdaq Composite fell 1.1%. Treasury yields were higher, putting some pressure on stocks. The yield on the 10-year Treasury, which influences mortgage rates, rose to 4.29% from 4.21%. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Today you will be bold, brazen, and resilient. Today you will not consider anything but the joy you feel by winning at life. So let's get to it. Have an amazing Tuesday. Pamela Mshana speaks to today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Entertainment Spotlight. Award-winning author Pamela Mshana joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her series Girls in Search of Cover. Here's a bit of our conversation. Pamela, so glad to speak with you again. Welcome back to the broadcast.
Thanks so much, Cyrus. It's always a pleasure to be with you on your show. Thanks for sharing your platform with myself and so many authors. And hello, everybody out there.
Well, look, we're glad to be able to speak with you. I'm excited for two reasons, Pamela. One, to talk about this year that's been a very big year for you. I mean, the series has been getting a lot of attention. Let's talk about that because, I'm all about celebrating the wins. I'm getting better at that myself. But what has it been like for you to celebrate the success of the series and the attention that it's getting?
Oh, it's been so much fun. You spend so much time writing a book and you're hoping the world is going to receive it and appreciate it and all of your effort. I always like to both entertain as well as send a positive message, help people through maybe struggles in life. And I think it's because I've had some struggles in my life. So when I win an award and I'm validated by my peers or judges, people in the industry, oh my God, I'm just elated. I'm so excited. And it's affirming. So it helps me during those times when maybe there's writer's block or, just going through a challenge. It keeps me going and say, I keep writing because people like what you're doing. They're getting something from what you're doing. And I've heard back from people who told me the book touched them and even inspired them to help other people. So for me, that's what it's all about.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. But let's get on tomorrow's more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, the Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, we're Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.